Welcome to Story Route Zero.
This is a podcast where friends gather to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the strange worlds of video games. We often don't know where we're going, but that's half the fun. Come on the journey with us. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute0. You can send us an email at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. That includes questions, concerns, comments, complaints, pet pics. Send us some recipes. Send us some stories about your day. We're going to listen.
Podcast, start your engines. We have liftoff. Let's have a journey.
Shit. Where was I? I forgot where. Oh, okay. Here we go. Me and Mariah go back like babies and pacifiers. Oh, dirt dog, no liar. Keep your fantasy hot like fire. This is episode 94, NHL 94 of Story Route Zero. My name is
Shit, that
Matthew.
was a good year, man.
I've been up for a day.
That was a good game.
It was a good game, and I've got two good friends with me.
Yeah.
Speaking of games,
Yeah.
Jason Marshall. Jason Video Game Marshall, how are you?
I'm doing well. You?
I'm all right. Moose Game Gear Cluel, how are you?
What's up? I did have a Game Gear. What's up?
I know. I remembered.
I'm partly responsible for keeping batteries in business for the 6 batteries every 25 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. It was crazy.
It's like that CNN Do the Right Thing where Radio Raheem goes in to get batteries. I need 20D batteries.
Man, that thing 8 batteries like it was just, and it's 6 of them too.
Yeah, it's was it double A though for the Game Gear? I forget.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I know we have a Game Gear in this house.
Nice.
So,
I have a Game Gear still.
I never had one originally. Reba did, which is we found it one day.
That's entertaining.
Yeah. So
That
we talk
really
about
happened.
video games here, in case you didn't know. What y'all been playing? Michaela is out on assignment. She is on dog watching duty, so we hope she's doing well. And she'll be back next
She
week.
just wanted to play SMT in private and not be bothered. Come on. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure she's taking care of the dogs and playing SMT.
I'm sure the dog is asleep and she's just looking at that switch going,
Yeah.
turn-based combat. Shoji Megoro's music. We're doing this. But yeah, so we talk about video games. What y'all been playing? Everybody at once.
My Legend of Zelda
second.
Game & Watch came in, so I played a little Legend. I played a little of all three. I kind of just dabbled in those.
What's on the Zelda Game & Watch? Is it Zelda Adventure of Link?
It's 1, 2, and the Game Boy one.
And Link's Awakening? Okay. Is the Link's Awakening just the actual Game Boy one?
Yes.
Oh, I just saw my face in it. Hold it up again. Hold it up again. Look. A little lower. Yeah, I'm on the game.
There you go.
I'm in the Zelda Game & Watch.
Oh, that's weird.
Nice.
I'm definitely screen grabbing that shit. Yeah, I tried that out. More Call of Duty. Having a blast with that. A lot of Inscription. It's addicting.
I've actually watched a ton of this game
So
over the weekend.
So the more I played, I know last week's description was I was struggling. It's not a deck builder in the sense of like Hearthstone, where you make like strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You collect cards so you build a deck, but you don't have really, you don't like, oh, I'm gonna run this set. Like, I'm not gonna do a high damage set. Like, you know how like there's all these card building and like there's strategies like, oh, it's low health, but if I get like this turn, I can wipe them out. You kind of, your deck is just shuffled and you have to go
Okay.
with what, but you gain cards. So
So let me ask this: instead of it being like a Slay the Spire deck builder, is it more like is it somewhere in that middle ground between Hearthstone and Slay the Spire, or
yes, so it's got the
okay?
Slay the Spire map where you get to make your choices,
Hmm.
but you kind of just have the cards
Okay.
and you go
So
through it like you draw, you get a starting set and then you
Mhm.
draw a card. You
Okay.
draw a card, you draw. So it's from your pile that you've accrued, but you don't
Mhm.
have like, you can't decide what you're gonna get. It's randomized and then you kind of have to work with what you have.
Now, is it a
That's what
rogue?
she said.
Is it a title of your sex tape? Is it a situation where you have to
Work with what you got, man.
where you have to where is it like a roguelite where you earn, because you're saying you gain cards, like you keep stuff and then you can, rebuild your deck for future runs, or
So every time you beat a level, you unlock a new card to add.
Mhm.
But along the way, you also unlock cards or
Right.
items to use. Like you have power-ups essentially to use in a turn. Because
Right, and that's like sort of just the general roguelike thing.
the way the cards work is you have to sacrifice. You need either blood or bone. The cards are either blood or bone based. So you need blood sacrifices or bone. So as you lose cards, you gain bone chips. They're like poker chips, but they're bones. It's I mentioned this before. The game's
Yes.
very dark and
Yes, you mentioned pulling out teeth.
yes. Um,
Yes.
so if
Do
a
remember
card has
that.
like two bones on it, that you need to have you need to have either lost two cards or played an item that gives you bones to play that card. And then the cards with the blood, you could sacrifice cards to play them. So you kind of have to, you do manage your deck like that, but you don't choose ahead of time, like, oh, I want to play these cards. It's completely random from your deck what gets played. And then as you go, like, you might get to a spot where it's kind of like it's like D&D, like you've stumbled upon a campfire. You can enhance the value of this card. And it's like telling like, but the adventurers look hungry. Do you want to
Mhm.
chance it again? And like you can chance upgrading, but you fail and they take the card from you and you like run out of there. Or you'll come up to like a vendor and it's like, I can offer you this for this. So it's a little more in-depth than Slay the Spire. It's not just like, here's your map. Oh, you got this, you got this.
Okay.
And there's still some element of you're playing someone playing the game. So there's a mystery behind this game that I haven't reached yet.
So apart from like the game happening, there's a meta layer that you haven't really
Yes,
got to.
yes.
Okay.
As you finish levels, essentially, like it's pretty cool. The map rolls out on a table. So as you finish, like if you reach the top of the like Slay the Spire type level, a new
Mhm.
one with a new theme, like it's the desert, then I'm in like a snow-based one. Like
Oh, nice.
so like
Progress reset every time
yes,
every time a run
yes,
ends. So
you have two lives.
okay.
So if you lose it, he blows out a candle. And if he blows out a second one, you start all over.
Okay.
Um yeah, so I'm having fun with the game, and then I'm interested in the meta game that's going on, like the story.
Okay.
And it's 2021, so of course I'm playing Skyrim.
I mean, that arrow just keeps coming back to your knee, doesn't it?
Yep. I didn't get the anniversary edition. I just downloaded the free upgrade. The biggest thing is load times are almost non-existent. Like you load into
You
a game,
legit can't read the tip. Like the tip at the bottom of the screen. Like you can almost
you
not
have an
read it.
opportunity to read one.
You
Just
don't
the tip.
even get the tip.
Not
Yeah.
even just the.
Not even. You don't even
just the
get
tip.
the tip, man. It's
Not
like not
even
even.
just the tip.
You know. So,
No, like you can like. I always used to hate like you go into a shop, you leave, and you're like, shit, I forgot to do this. Go back in the shop, and you're like 5 minutes later,
Loading
like
screen.
it's almost.
What did I want?
yeah.
It's almost instantaneous going back and forth. Fast travels, like Ghost of Tsushima level. Like it's a nice quality of life change. I mean, not that I was bothered by it, but and the game looks, I guess, cleaner, crisper. It still looks. I mean, and it still has its bugs. Like shoot a guy in the foot and he goes 40 feet in the air. You know, old
Yeah.
Skyrim, or like knock a guy into a door and then open the door and he's like stuck in the door hinge, like
Like ragdolling. Yeah.
So I will say this. I was on my PS5 before I went to work Saturday night, and I almost clicked the download button for Skyrim. It's like the third closest I've been, because the second closest I've been was when Moose and I went to Extra Life. And the first closest was when I actually had it in my system at one point, but then took it out and didn't play it.
That's a conversation for next year. So don't download it.
I know we were talking about that, and I was hoping to get some headway probably when we're off in December. So in terms of the conversation, not the game. Continue, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, if you've played Skyrim, it's like comfort food in a way. Like you can, and especially if you've beaten it, you kind of just like, I know what to do, but I choose not to. Like I'm going everywhere but the quest.
It's the ultimate piece of candy game for Jason.
Yeah.
Like piece of candy. So
it sucks at the beginning because you have the inventory issues, but then once you get going and you can manage it, like when they make you feel overburdened. Like it's like brutal how slow you move. And it constantly tells you, you can't run. You can't run. Fuck you. I know I can't run.
Oh,
but in classic Bethesda Skyrim bugginess, you drop everything you own on the ground to run to your save point. You run back, the street is just, the road is littered with all your crap. You're like, oh, I'll pick it back up and deposit some. Or
look at this, more candy, everyone.
And you're like, wait a minute, this looks familiar. Son of a bitch, this is my stuff.
Ooh, somebody dropped stuff. Oh, it's mine. Shit.
Who dropped this? Oh, I did.
It gets.
Why did I pick this back up?
Like you get in the beginning, the pendulum really swings the other way with the inventory, especially if you go. I think. Well, for me, it did, because I don't know if it's in the light armor tree, but in the heavy armor tree, there is a perk where your armor weight does not count, and so your inventory is like whoop, like your weight load, your weight capacity goes up significantly. But then there's also the point, like in the beginning, so like when I would clear a dungeon, I'll clear halfway, take all that shit back and deposit it on a dead body or in a barrel, go clear the rest of the dungeon, and then take all that stuff back and then grab everything. And if I had I'd take a horse, because you can fast travel if you're on a horse and you're over encumbered. So leave the horse outside, walk the super slow pace to get outside, hop on the horse and fast travel, and then like walk until you can get to the vendor to sell, or at least like put it in your inventory. But it gets to a point later on where weight capacity is not an issue, and then you can't even sell the stuff you pick up because nobody has enough money to buy it. So it's
Then
just
you're not even picking up things. You're just, I don't need this. Don't need
Yeah.
this. Don't need
Yeah.
this.
like the only thing you're looting bodies for is for like gems, soul gems, and like actual cash. Like that's it. Or even arrows. Like
and lock bits.
yeah, lockpicks. Like that's it. But yeah, it's hilarious. But I use the one shot you get, which like moves you forward. So like I would use that shout to just like kind of run a little bit and then wait for the cooldown, hit it again. And I'm talking like this was long walks, like long walks. And I'd just be like, all right, let's throw some music on.
And there's always the you know what? Let me quick save here. And I'm gonna kill everyone in the town.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun.
But
That's that meme where it's like someone quick saves.
Yep.
And
yeah,
okay.
That does
Right.
yeah. Because you
Right.
get smart asses in the towns, and it's just like, what'd you just say to me? And I do that in Breakpoint. Like I only kill like a civilian a playthrough, but like I'll be running through like a camp and they'll be like, what do you think you're doing here? And I'm like, excuse me? And I just blow their face off. And I'm just like, and the game's like, and then like my whole squad's like, civilian kill you kill the civilian. I'm like, yeah,
I am
I'll kill
above the
you
law.
too. I will kill you too if I have to. Don't annoy me.
Yeah. But no, fun all around.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Cool. Moose?
So I was playing Skyrim as well. So just like Jason said, I can't really tell right now if it looks better than it did on PS4 for me. Like I feel like it kind of still looks the same, but I'm sure the textures are better overall. Like it's smoother, so it's like a better coat of polish. Load times, yes, definitely can tell because I downloaded the update as well, so I'm playing the PS5 version, and it is like super crazy fast. And then the draw distance is really far, so I'm trying to get used to the draw distance. But I loaded it up last night. I think I was playing after playing some Breakpoint and was just rolling through the first mine on your way to the first town you got to go to. I went to the town and then I went back to the mine, and then there's like a dungeon you can go do, and I'm gonna go do that real quick and just have some fun with it. But there's a whole new set of trophies. So this might actually go on the platinum list for next year, not this year. I got too much stuff to play. Like it's too much of a time sink to try and platinum it this year.
Isn't it? I mean, for some reason, I remember looking at the guide. It's like, isn't it over 100
hours?
Yeah.
It can be.
I don't think so.
Or maybe it's like I feel like it might be something like 70 to 100 or something like that.
It might be 50 to 60.
Oh,
it's just very.
Yeah.
It depends on. I mean, I think for me and Moose to do it versus you, I've beaten the game. I know, like, because you can. What's interesting is you can find stuff, and then someone will send you on an errand, like, "Oh, my family's, something was stolen." And you're like, "Oh, this."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So like that dungeon I was telling you about, that's exactly what he's talking about. You go to the town shop and the shop owner, spoilers for anyone who hasn't played a 10-year-old game, but the shop owner and his sister are talking about this artifact, and you're like, oh, you mean this, like this thing that I went in this dungeon and got? And so you could either go there and find it.
You mean this thing I took off some scrubs in a cave with their lunch money?
Right, exactly. Or you can go and talk to them and buy some stuff, and they'll mention the item, and then you'll just get the quest. Like sometimes they'll ask you to go get it, and sometimes it'll just be like, explore such and such place, and you can just go there and get it for them. But
it's pretty cool that for such an older game, 10 years, that they had the dynamic questing that you can, it's not just you picked up the, like, some games do it, oh, you have the item, so you take the quest, accept it, and then go turn it in. It'll literally change from, oh, we're looking for this golden claw that was stolen. And then the next dialogue option, it's not just okay, and then you go back, it's, oh, you mean this one. So it's cool
Yeah.
that the game was able to, because it happens in a couple spots, like along the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just there's technically one missable trophy, but it's really, if you're exploring, if you're going for the
Isn't that
platinum,
isn't that the Deirdre armor or whatever? Why do I feel
no,
like
it's these
It's the
artifacts.
Daedric
Each-
stuff.
Oh, it's
their
Deirdre artifacts.
Each
Okay.
dungeon,
Yeah.
you have to just get the item.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's
No.
one that you can miss if you're not paying attention.
But I think there's actually one more than you need, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. But
So it's definitely like one of the ones where you want to, if you're going for the platinum, it's one of those trophies you want to be like following, like as you're playing the game, just because you're like, what's this list? And just try and pay attention to like stuff that pops up. Because like all the other stuff happens like naturally.
And if you're
Except-
going for the platinum, you're exploring everything. So
Mhm.
chances of you missing it, because you need like 100,000 gold, and you
Right.
don't
Yeah.
gain gold at a fast rate at all.
No, you don't at all. So I think your speech increases the amount of money that people will have to buy stuff from you, and also your speech. If you level your speech, it will also allow you to sell stolen stuff. Like shopkeepers will buy stolen stuff as well. So, like you could just be taking stuff to them. And Jason and I were talking about this when the one night we were in a party chat. He was just like, "What?" He's like, "Why?" He's like, "I hate that they show a price on the item." And he's like, "Because they never buy it for that price." And I'm like, "I agree." Like you'll have like a gem, and it'll be like or like a ruby necklace, and it's like 800 gold, and you go to sell it, and they're like 60. You're like,
hold on.
You're like,
Skyrim.
Wait, you mean
No.
it's GameStop rate?
I
Like
was
that's
just
what it
gonna
is.
say, Skyrim NPC vendors are basically GameStop. It's like they'll sell you this sword for 2,000 gold. You bring that sword to the blacksmith, I'll give you 4 gold and a flower.
yeah.
I'll give you 50 cents for it.
It's so funny. But the game is really good as far as like the questing, the combat, hand-to-hand combat, the melee combat, it leaves a little bit to be desired, but the archery is cool. Like the magic I have not tried. But the questing is fun, and it's like nice, like when you could just get on and be like, all right, today I'm gonna work on my next level gear. Like I'm wearing iron now, so I'm gonna wear, I don't know, what is it, orc after iron or whatever. So I'm gonna find the orc armor, or I'm gonna make ebony armor, or the Daedric armor. Avoid the dragonbone armor at all costs because it's not worth it. It's not better armor than the Daedric armor. But anyways,
Yeah, I think I remember you saying that, like, just get the Daedric armor and sort of, but it's almost like set it and forget it.
And like there's ways where you can, they still have it in the system, which is awesome. Like there's exploits in it where you can use restorative spells or potions. And basically any potion you create gets increasingly better and better. So you can basically have like a blacksmithing potion that increases your weapon, like the quality of your weapon by like 500%. And so you're making like a 2-handed axe that does insane damage. And so like it basically crits everybody, or people like die instantly.
Like you can enchant your gear to be better at enchanting, and then enchant the gear you want to be what you want. So it's like a billion times better. It's like, yeah, it's actually, if you think about it, for an older game, the amount of systems they had in there, it's quite impressive. I mean, that's why it's played on everything from video game consoles to microwaves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Skyrim, I played and beat. I've been playing a lot of Breakpoint, and I beat that on Saturday. That was a good ending. There's new DLC out. So Jeff and I were in a party before the show, and we were talking about doing that sometime this week, like starting that together, um, which basically changes the way the game plays. It basically it's story DLC after the main game, and then kind of creates like faction areas, Jason. So it's just like
Okay.
you're going in and like clearing stuff and whatnot. And like what's cool is you can bounce back and forth. But like if you're in like if you're in the middle of like a mission and you haven't like completed it, like it'll wipe that progress. And when you bounce back to the old mission you have, or the old operation, they call it, you have to redo some stuff, but it's pretty cool. Breakpoint's good. That seems pretty interesting, and they've added some stuff to the game as well, as far as like so like you get skill points, and then like you can pick like a class, so the classes are cool. And then now when you level up all your skills, you can invest in the weapon, the marksman, for your weapons. And basically, like, okay, you invest 5 points and you get 25% more accuracy on a weapon. And so you have each of your main weapons, and then you can level at certain levels inside the accuracy. So, like, right now, my sniper rifle is like 75 or plus 75% accuracy, plus 50. I think it's handling. It's 50 handling and then 50 mobility. And so, like, you can permanently increase these instead of like trying to roll for a gun that has these qualities on them. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. Like I started doing some end game stuff. There's some hard hitting enemies in the game called behemoths, which are just like mobile droid like tanks, and they've got mortars, rockets, they've got miniguns. Like they're I think the one I took on earlier today had I want to say nerve gas, so it launched pockets of nerd gas. But I watched a video that I sent to Jeff that it was like what's the easiest way to take out the behemoths? And I watched the video, and it's very, I feel like it's very like Dark Souls-ish as far as bosses go, because like I watched the video and the guy was able to handle the behemoth pretty quickly. And so I wasn't really watching his rotation of like what he uses, because like he's like, okay, use the Pathfinder class, because the Pathfinder class has this spray. It's like a stealth spray, which makes you invisible to drones, which the behemoth is, so it doesn't see you. And then he's like, use rocket launchers. You have to have unlocked rocket launchers, and so that will stun the behemoth and damage it. And then he's like, you want to use these perks that increase your damage to drones and your damage with sniper rifles, and use a sniper rifle. And so, and then EMP grenades if you need them. And then he's just like all this. He's got like this list of stuff, and it's pretty cool. So I was like, I told Jeff, like, I've done like 4 or 5 of them now, and it's like 50-50 chance that I'm gonna wipe and have to redo it. And I'm like, I need to get back to the game, and or I mean, I need to get back to that guy's video and watch it and actually see what his rotation is and nail my rotation in fighting the behemoths, so that it's a lot smoother. Because by the time the fight's over, I have no more stealthing spray and I have no more rockets. And I'm like, okay, EMP grenades it is, and let's hope that the bright shiny parts take extra damage from the sniper rifle. But Breakpoint's been fun. And then also I did a little something late Thursday night. I platinum Demon Souls, which, thank you, was also my 50th platinum. So yay. So I'm thinking of working to make Dark Souls Remastered my 75th. So I got some time, but I want to platinum that, and I think I could do that sometime next year. So we'll see what happens, but that would be cool to have that be a milestone on my platinum list. But loving, so I basically screwed myself with Demon Souls and forced myself to go further in the new game +2 than I needed to. Because what I did was I bought all I needed the Sage trophy, which is all the sorceries. I bought all the sorceries, but I did not have one because there are two endings, and you need to let something happen to get a soul. And I didn't do that ending. I did the opposite ending. And so I did not get this soul, and I could not buy this spell called Soul Sucker. And so I basically had 95% of the trophy. I had, I think it's like, I had 31 of 32 or 21 of 22 spells.
Oh,
And so I was like, shit. Well, here's the thing, Jason. At least I didn't waste the boss soul on like cashing in and take those souls. Like I didn't have the soul period. So I was like, at least I'm screwed. I'm like screwed, but I'm not, it's not of my own fault. And so anyways, so I like an idiot to do another trophy, which is a ring trophy. You have to do contracts and you have to kill people in the Nexus. I had to get the faux ring, which makes you, I think, do more damage if you're invading people. So I had to do the rings trophy. So I go and I kill people. Well, I rolled back my save to where I had all the boss souls, and I killed the guy that sells sorceries. I didn't buy all the sorceries again. I just ended up like killing everybody. And then I went to New Game Plus. Then I tried to get the one girl that sells sorceries, Urea, and I bought all her sorceries. You have to have all of them at the same time. And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Because I think the rings in Dark Souls 3 work like as long as you had it in your inventory at one point in time, it counts. But the spells are like you have to have every spell at once. And so I had to go into the Tower of Latria, which the Prison of Hope can eat a bag of dicks. Like that place just, I think because it's so dark and you can get lost easily, and the fucking Squidmires are a pain in the ass. But anyways, so we had to go in there, free Sage Frake, and then I was able to get the platinum, but me and a buddy were co-oping and we were unlocking worlds to play for Razzie, because Razzie has to go through a whole nother playthrough. And I was like, Jesus. All right, so let's unlock some worlds. And then before I logged off of my stream, I popped the trophy. So it happened on my stream Thursday. But anyways, Demon Souls is a lot of fun. I'm having more fun with it now that I've leveled up more than where I was. Like I'm 132 now. I still kind of, with the darker world tendencies, I still kind of get almost one hit with stuff. I'm like, especially the Red Knights. The Red Knights, I'm like, oh, fucking eat a bag of dicks, dudes. Like you're like going into the fight with a 50-50 chance you're gonna die. And so it's just like, so anyways, it's more fun, having a good time. But that was it. Yeah, Skyrim, Breakpoint, and Demon Souls. But good stuff.
nice.
I wish I could say I played the network test for Elden Ring, but didn't get that. I didn't even get a rejection email like some people did.
Yeah.
Here's something funny, Matt. A buddy of mine got the rejection letter about the network test, and then earlier today they sent him an email saying, could you provide, we hope you enjoyed and blah, blah, blah. Like, would you provide some feedback on the network test? And then immediately was followed up with another email that said, we're sorry about that. We like, they were like, we messed up. And it was like,
Wow.
the email was like, some people that were emailed about not getting into the test were included on the email chain for like people who asking for feedback. And I was like, just take the salt and just push it further into the wound. Why don't you, Bandai?
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Like you said.
So part of me is like, man, I thought it was bad that Bandai and From just felt nothing about my sign up for it. But I feel like your buddy's getting worse treatment.
Yeah, I think I'd take nothing over
that. Like, yeah, you're not getting in. Oh, how'd you enjoy that?
Right. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Thank you for signing up, but you didn't get in, and then sending an email saying, so how did you like?
How is that extra large bowl of rejection, you 6-piece chicken McNobody? How you feeling about that?
We were talking about it, and he was kind of laughing. He's like, people signed up with like 5 or 6 emails,
Mhm.
People were signing up for it who didn't even have PlayStation 5s. The keys were selling on eBay for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, shit, man, I should have signed up with like made up emails. I should have sat there all day and made email, and just signed up with a million of them, and then sold it. Like if I sold it for $200 right there's, I could pay for Elden Ring, Horizon, and God of War next year and call it a day. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to be in the
Yeah, but
network
see,
test.
I think the work to do that, I think you'd be like, oh, I could do this, and then you do it once, you're like, this is boring. Because that's how, because like I try not to do that kind of behavior because I don't like it. But if I ever think about actually doing it, like because I could use the money. But Bagel, are you dying? You okay?
But yeah,
Please don't die, Bagel. I need
Don't
to see
die,
you in 2
Bagel. You
weeks.
all right?
because the codes went out Thursday for the
Right.
weekend. Like you'd have to put in the effort to get it sold before the end of the weekend.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I just don't have that kind of follow through. I don't have time for that kind of follow through.
Well, right,
Let
or
alone the
or
energy.
or just not even like you like selling it would be easy. It's creating the emails to try and secure a code.
I mean, hell,
That-
selling it for a penny,
Mhm.
you didn't pay for it, so you already made out.
Yeah, you're
Right,
already
made 100%. But well, we were also talking.
That's
about
one
the
coin of
collector's
profit.
edition.
Thanks, Skyrim. What?
Like the collector's edition and how that sold out quick and how it's selling on eBay for like buttloads of money. And I'm like, I'm like, it's so stupid. I feel like what they should have did with the network test is they should have did what Square Enix did with Stranger in Paradise, the Final Fantasy game, where it was like everybody on current gens can play it. That's it. Like, because this is my thing. Like, I understand you're testing the network, but the vast majority of people that will be playing Elden Ring are not looking to play PvP. I know like Jason and Matt TV loves fucking PvP and that's all he plays. And he's got like, I think he's got to have 3,000 hours he has into that game,
Right.
like playing PvP. So there are people like that, but the vast majority of people playing Elden Ring are just playing Elden Ring to see the world and have fun. So it's not really a tax on the network. So you can just let everybody play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyone who wants to play it can play it. I mean, like Jason has a PS5, he wouldn't have signed up for it. Jeff wouldn't signed up for it. Muffins wouldn't sign up for it. You know, like only the people that know Souls would sign up for
You
it.
know, I signed up on 10 different emails, sold all 10 for $400.
No. Jason looks at Elden Ring.
No, you
like,
wouldn't have, because you would have sold
no.
one to Moose and one to me for 10. Because you would have been like, hey, I made this.
No, he
email.
wouldn't have. He would have been like $50.
Jason
like,
needs to buy a AAA game.
Jason would have been like a text. He's like, I got 3 codes for Elden Ring network test, $100 a piece. You guys are my friends. 50.
I got
50.
them codes. I got them codes for them network tests.
You got the bandwidth, I got the code. So for me, playing wise, I've actually done some stuff. Yes, I have, Bagel. You were there. I platinumed Kina, and that was a lot more fun than I expected it to be. I'm gonna say this, like, I'm not trying to say this to like be like I don't really think this is a brag per se, but I just want to compliment Ember Lab on their design around difficulty. Because it wasn't just everything hits harder and everything has bigger life bars. It was kind of, you had to maneuver your way around and you had to really understand your skills. I don't think that is something that I don't think playing the game on master mode is something that deliberately likes it. It's not like Curse of the Dead Gods trying to get that platinum trophy where you have to play it on hard mode, not take damage, and because the penalty for taking damage in master mode is not near as severe as I initially thought it was. You just don't get a
Very
full
nice.
rod action. It just takes it, so you have to actually do damage before you can use the rod again. But I thought it was. I think that game's fucking beautiful. I love the story in it. Playing through it again actually gave me a lot of really nice thoughts about the protagonist herself, and the Adira arc is just one of the best stories in video games this year. I also started Fist, and that game is a lot of fun. I am to the Arsenal, so I'm still relatively early, I guess, but I hope to have that beat this week. And
What
then
weapons do you have?
I have the Fist and I have the drill. I don't have the
Okay.
third weapon yet. And then I actually today I got myself exactly where I need to be to click 2 buttons and get a Demon Souls platinum. Now all I need is just 8. I need 17 platinums before I can do that. So hopefully
You're trying to
I
make
will-
that 200, right?
Yes, I'm at 182. And then I did boot up Unsighted for a little bit. I was just really tired when I did, and I went to bed. That game looks really fun, and I remember playing the demo earlier this year, and I'm excited to play more of it.
You mentioned number of difficulty. Unsighted needs to be played on, and I know needs a strong word. It
Right.
needs to be played not on the easiest difficulty. There is a time mechanic, and it's not like you have 30 seconds to do this, but
Right.
it adds to the story. Like every NPC you encounter has a life.
Mhm.
It's in hours. I don't know what the conversion is. It's not actual hours.
Right.
And I think when you play on like whatever, I think it's called story mode, whatever it's called, it makes their time significantly larger. It doesn't eliminate it, but
Mhm.
I think it kind of, it kills like part because
It removes the tension.
right,
It
but it
removes the
also
tension.
like, you know, in Dark Souls, if you like kill someone and an NPC goes away,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like that. Like
Yeah.
when the NPCs die in Unsighted, then like if it's a vendor, the vendor's gone. But like it also has this, there's a mechanic where you can basically sacrifice people to extend your own life. So it kind of, if you want to get like the full, I think what the developers intended, you should play with like, I don't know, that's my take. I mean, obviously
Sure.
people will play without it, but it kind of, I think you get a different experience altogether. Not just a more accessible experience. It kind of changes the, like you might not lose any NPCs if you play
Right.
on the easiest. And it's kind of like you don't have to make the decision to sacrifice someone.
Right. And yeah, I see what you mean there, and I that makes me more interested to play that because I did not know that prior. And then I feel like I did something else. Close to the Demon Souls Platinum started on site. Oh, I've been watching a lot of games I want to try and get through before the end of the year. And I think one of the ones I'm going to at least try and make some headway into, because it is a roguelike and I'm not really the best at beating those. Skull the Hero Slayer looks really fucking dope.
It is.
It looks really good. And yeah. But I realized something today, which I'll add to my platinum total next year. Apparently, when you buy the PS5 version of Kana, you get the PS4 version. So
Yep.
I'm gonna get 2 platinums there. But yeah, so that's really it for me in terms of what I've been playing. I actually could have probably played more, but I actually started reading Berserk again because
Oh,
I found
nice.
a podcast. I found a podcast that's really good, and I want to. It's a read along podcast, so I'm kind of going with that. Berserk's really fucking good. If you like dark fantasy, forget that it's a. Never mind that it's a manga. It's one of the best dark fantasy openings that
Yeah,
I've
I want to
read.
read it, so I'm looking into picking up that collection.
Yeah, it's the I actually I'm going by the time we record next, I will have had a birthday, and I bought 2 additional deluxe editions, so I'm going to have 3 to get through because I think that
How many is there to get through all of
those
it?
hard covers. There's 10 of them. There's going
Jesus.
to be well, he's been well before he passed earlier this year.
Yeah, he's been going
Um,
for a while, like since the 80s.
Yeah, since the 80s. And I think ultimately up for everything that Mura Kintaro wrote will encompass 13 of those hardcover volumes. And by the end of this week, I will have 4. So chugging right
Nice.
along. Berserk's really cool. It's very beautiful. It's a wonderful story so far. Yeah. Oh, and Ahmed and I decided what the next game we're gonna co-op, and this will be an interest to the panel because we like this game. Remnant from the Ashes.
Ooh.
He's not played it, so I told him he should. And
He
Yeah.
should.
going to.
Everyone should.
Yes, Remnant's really good.
It is really good.
Anybody else got games, or is that it?
Well, you mentioned books. I just received in the mail and started reading the Japanese guide to role-playing games from Bitmap Games. This is
Okay.
super cool.
Now, what is that? Like I saw that book and I think that book looks cool, but I just don't know what the elevator pitch is on it because I keep meaning to look it up and just haven't.
It's basically the history of JRPGs, like where they started, where they are now, everything in between.
Does it talk about like the impact of tabletop in Japan, which started all that?
It might. I haven't gone through. It's almost 500 pages, but it covers SMT, a lot of Tales games, Final Fantasies, action RPGs.
Oh, so it might just be the video games then, rather than
yes, but it might mention that if there's an influence from tabletop.
Okay.
I actually, if you're interested, I have they sent the digital PDF with the because I got the hardcover, so I could send you guys.
Was that a Kickstarter or
no? Bitmap Books is a website. They do a couple things.
I think like, I don't like reading digital books, to be honest with you. I'm that's probably the one arena where I'm super old. I like to actually hold.
No, I'm with you there. I'll do both, but I do prefer sometimes you just want to hold the actual book.
For a bit, I was reading the My Hero Academia manga, and I was reading that on Shonen Jump, and that was fine because it's just like a chapter at a time. But a 500-page book, I'm not doing a PDF.
And something like this with the because it has pictures, screenshots from the games, you kind of want to have that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I mean, I could send you the PDF anyway if you'd be.
I would look through it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I think this is the time where we usually go to news.
Yeah, there's a few things. Grand Theft Auto had a week.
They're gonna have a long. It's gonna be rough for them.
It's kind of.
It's gonna be rough, but they will feel no effects of it.
They don't give 2 shits.
The best way to sum it up, it's karma in a sense that Strauss Zelnick, the CEO, had made comments about Cyberpunk's launch and that you don't put out a game that's not finished and all this. And the GTA trilogy has been. I've seen a mix of people are enjoying what they play because it does play the same way. Mm-hmm. It just looks. There's sections that just almost, I hate to say it, but look unacceptable. Like, it's one thing if it doesn't look newer, but like
Right.
it looks bad. Like it's like when Assassin's Creed, the remaster, remember when they did that and the faces were missing? It's on
Yeah.
that level. Like,
Now this
Yeah.
is 3 Vice City and San Andreas,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that's PS2,
Yeah.
and it's like the beginning.
Well, so here's the thing. Like
Mhm.
it's not like the game doesn't play. Like you can
Sure.
play it, beginning to end, everything's fine. The problem is like they call it the definitive edition and it's supposedly remastered, but like there are comparisons picture to picture of stuff that looks dog shit. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
horrible. And it's almost as if, in my opinion, from looking at it from the outside and like in the 5-10 minutes that I've seen some articles, it looks like Rockstar, whoever they gave the remaster to, just took a like remaster filter
Mhm.
and threw it over the game. It didn't go through the game and like fine tune like what was being remastered. Like it was just like, here's this filter, and they didn't play the game to figure out what was getting messed up. Like some of the stuff you're like, that person looks way worse. Like you look at it and you're like, this person looks better than in the PS2. Well, this person looks way worse. And it just gets to be like, what do you like? What, don't even release it if it doesn't look good. I think it has like what a 0.5 rating on Metacritic.
It was unprecedented. All 3 games on both PlayStation and Xbox, I think it was, had below a 1.
They're at like 0.5.
6 versions combined, all were below a 1.
I mean, it's insane, like what has happened with that remaster. And I was excited to get it. Like I wanted to pick it up.
I'm imagining some 15-year-olds, oh, greatest game ever, my ass. I could just hear that.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
that's not the only. So I wanted to get it because I wanted the nostalgia. Like I was like, oh, like I liked the remaster look of it. Like it wasn't like, oh, we're putting it in a current engine. Like, oh, we're kind of gonna like make it a little bit better looking. Like, oh, people actually have fingers now instead of just claws. And there's facial expressions, and it looks better. And but they were keeping the art style and the aesthetics of it, but just making it look better. But then like this came out now, then there's also, they're not having a good time because there's rumors that they pulled it from the PC store because there were I think it was unlicensed tracks or something like hidden in the code.
There was also
so there was that.
Stuff from
also
the
hot
coffee mod. Yeah,
well, that's not a mod. That was part of the PS2. And like I remember back in the day. No, so yes, it was original. It wasn't a mod. It was in the original game, and it was something you could find.
Modders pulled it out.
Like, and then they released copies that pulled it out. And I had an original copy because I love Grand Theft Auto and got it day one. When I went to take that to trade it into GameStop, they're like, we can't take this game. And I'm like, it's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. They're like, no, this is the one that has hot coffee. We can't sell that. And I'm like, okay. So I just kept it. I don't know where it is. I probably just gave it to somebody or whatever. But anyways, it's just, so that code is in there somewhere. So it's almost like they were like, we're going to do like a third of the work that you should do on this remaster. And that's what they did. And it's just like biting them in the ass. And I hope they feel the pain of this. I think I also read somewhere that they're getting more requests for refunds than Cyberpunk did.
Yeah, and it's just, so Grove Street Games is the dev, and they did a lot of the mobile ports. But what's weird is the CEO had said he's enjoying the unparalleled level of scrutiny. Like, dude, really? Like, this is what
I
you
don't
want?
know if unparalleled level of scrutiny means what you think it means.
You
now.
you keep using that word. I do not think you.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
I do not think you know. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. I mean, everyone thought it was a cash grab, and now it's just looking more and more like just a cash
More
grab.
and more like a cash grab.
And then it's
And
just
then-
kind of, it's also like with Grand Theft Auto Online, why?
Well, here's the other issue. Then the other issue is they removed the older versions. You can't buy the PS2 on PS4 versions, which I think they even released on other systems.
Oh,
But you can't even buy those. Were taken off the market. Like, I own them. I can go download them. In fact, I think they are downloaded on my external drive for my PS4. But you can't even get those. You have to play this messed up game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna
It's
fix
ridiculous.
it.
I'm sure
Eh.
it will get fixed, but
I don't think the Hauser brothers are at Rockstar anymore. So the people
No,
that
they're
actually
not.
give a shit about it are not even there anymore. Like, it's basically Grand Theft Auto is just a cash cow now for them. It's not even to the point where, like, yes, we want to make money off this, but we also respect the IP that we handle. They're just like, now it's a cash grab, so we don't care. So, like, I doubt that this gets fixed.
yeah, we'll see.
Or it'll take a really long time.
Mhm.
The Steam Deck was delayed. It is now slated for February out of the holidays.
Mhm.
Um,
The delivery date was this week or next? It
It
was
was
this
supposed to
month,
be
wasn't it?
December. It was
It
supposed
was
to be
early.
Oh, it's
December.
December.
It was
Oh,
early December. It's
my
now
bad.
mid-February. It's now mid-billion AAA titles February.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like right in the middle of fucking everything.
right.
The side note on that is I saw someone was showing Horizon running on it, which is pretty cool. Like one of the kits.
I read this other news and then it dawned. So Endwalker Final Fantasy XIV's expansion was delayed. It was delayed like 2 weeks. So it's not really, I mean, obviously it's a delay, but it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah. Okay.
why are they delaying it?
I
Yeah.
feel bad. So, like, I get that. I feel like people could be like upset about that, but I feel like the only people that should be upset about that are the people that actually took off like a week
Yeah.
to play that, or like a day. Like my buddy that didn't get into the network test for Elden Ring. He took time off to play that game, and then he had to move his time off. So it's like, what if it was like 2 weeks before your time is supposed to be off, and they're like, "Oh, we got to move the game to the end of the year," and you're like, "Well, I can't move my vacation now."
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 were removed from digital storefronts. Apparently there's something with historical time pieces that they lost licenses for.
Yeah. But they said they're working on it to
Yes.
get them back on the stores. I guess it's good that I picked up the PS3 collection.
Yeah.
It's like,
So does that just mean, or does that just mean that Blue Point is working on somehow
let the rumors begin.
Yeah.
So there's Dead Cells news. Dead Cells is having a crossover with not one, not two, but 3 series with 3 more to come. Juan from Guacamelee is going to be playable.
Never heard of him.
Drifter from Hyper Light Drifter, and
nice.
And the random guy from Curse of the Dead Gods will be playable.
Wow.
And they tweeted yesterday.
Darkest Dungeon Understudy.
They tweeted 3 invitations out, 3 more to go. So I don't know what other characters, but
oh, nice.
Yeah, I guess you're gonna so like on Darkest Dungeon Understudy guy has 2 weapons. Like you get like the whip and a gun type thing. I guess Juan will be all melee.
Nice. That could be
cool. There were fist weapons in Dead Cells, aren't there?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, there's also swords and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could go that route.
Yeah. So Outriders had so they do some type of broadcast every month, and today they actually announced new content coming. They've altered endgame a bit. They've added maps. They removed the timer from the endgame if you wish. Now it's just there for like online bragging and leaderboards. And they announced a new story-based DLC in 2022. So that's exciting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll load that back up. I had a blast with that. Can't believe that was this year though. Jesus Christ, it was so long
Yeah,
ago.
it was early. It was early.
Yeah, I need to play through that.
I was looking at the list of games I've beaten on Twitter, and I'm like, man, some of these came out this year. Holy shit.
Did you you played Outriders?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I've for some reason over the last like 3 weeks, I don't know where I've heard the name Outriders, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was this year. Do I want to play that? So
I had a blast. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
jump back in, but
I know you loved it, and you and I, like, there's a lot of overlap in our tastes, and when you say you like something, that usually means I'll come out of it going, man, this isn't dog shit, but at least at the very least
No,
that's what I'll say.
it's just trouble because, like, I mean, yeah, that's true. It's usually true when Jason says he likes something. It's
yeah,
it's good.
and this was teased. It was teased. And Halo multiplayer launched today.
Yep, it's
Yeah,
on free on Steam.
it's free. Well, it's free everywhere, but
yeah,
Well,
on
free
Game
everywhere.
Pass. It's on Game Pass.
there was a. I forgot.
The campaign will be, and the
Yeah.
and the multiplayer is free, but yeah,
I forgot which outlet, but they compared Atlas holding the world up to Steam not buckling under the server stress.
yeah, like their servers are actually still like running, able to.
I mean, considering over the past 5 or 6 years the shit that's gone down with Halo, from the Master Chief Collection just straight up not working for like almost 2 years.
Yeah,
Like, I think that's valid.
yeah. Well,
I'm by no means an expert, but
looking at that article, or I saw that Captain Canada send that to me, that picture of that comment where the guy was like, at like Atlas holding up the world, Steam servers will not buckle under the pressure of everybody wanting to play Halo Infinite. And it's just like, people need to take like note from this. Like, one of my favorite military shooters comes out, is dropping a new game, Battlefield 2042, and I will not play that game.
Poor Battlefield.
Oh,
it had a rocky launch, and then Halo.
No. There is no sympathy for Battlefield. Fuck Battlefield. I'm tired of them putting out, like, it happened with 4. Man, I had some dog shit. I have videos of it just being absolute dog shit when I was playing it on PS4. And I actually could go back and probably find my Facebook post where I took video of it on my phone where it was like purple and green. I was like inside a fucking Destructicon. I was in the ground, like couldn't get out. Like, it was buggy as all hell. And it's like, after how many years you can't fix your shit? You can't fix your shit. It's like, get your shit together and have a good launch. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. And I know some of my friends want to pick it up, and I'm like, I'm not picking it up until they work out the bugs. And so it'll be a while.
And it's not just bugs. Like, I've heard like no HUD, like the HUD's gone. You can't access a scoreboard during a match.
Yeah.
You have to use this new EA portal, the Battlefield portal, to like tinker like loadouts. It's like, what? No.
What if they called it battlefield.net?
Like, yeah, I know.
Okay, someone got what I did there. Okay, good.
Like, I get the criticism of Call of Duty. I'm having a blast. But the thing is, Call of Duty runs.
Yeah.
There's no, like, sure, people don't like Sledgehammer's story. Like, and to be honest, Black Ops always has had the more in-depth story. And so And I feel Sledgehammer's had to bounce around between different like time, like Black Ops was kind of a continuous thing. That aside, it runs. Like I
Yeah.
can, once we're done here, I can jump in a match, like play a match. It's fine. I mean,
Mhm.
it's online. I mean, sure, you're gonna get lag and rubber bending, but apparently Battlefield is, and like I feel like
I think
Halo kind of distracted people, but also kind of pushed Battlefield, like, because Call of Duty is always gonna have its, like Call of Duty has its fans no matter what. I feel
yeah.
Battlefield is the one that kind of struggles at times, and then you get Halo in there, and it's like, yep,
It's it they have got to do something to fix it quick, or it's not that the game will be dead. The only people that will be playing it are the people that like playing Battlefield games,
right,
is what I'm trying to say. Like it won't, like anybody that would have bought it to try it out and be like, oh, a new Battlefield, they're going back to modern warfare style combat. Let me try this and play this. Oh, look at all these shitty reviews and all these bugs you have to deal with. I mean, there was a streamer who was like stuck running in place for like 5 minutes trying to get to the battlefield, or to the combat. There's bugs where it spawns you outside of the map area and you have to run into the playable area before you die, because if you leave the playable area you get like a 10-second countdown to tell you before you're like killed and respawned. But I'm like, come on guys, like you're trying to make a AAA game here, and it's ridiculous. you know it's just
Mhm.
ridiculous. But
and
So I just had a tiny little revelation, and I'm
okay,
sorry to interrupt the news with this. I
no,
realized why I've never played Skyrim. You know what came out September 22nd that year? Dark Souls.
mm, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I started playing that and just never went to Skyrim.
fair
Not
enough.
like I'm
Makes
not like
sense.
trying to do the one's better than the other. I'm just like
No, 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 makes
that's where my
sense.
head was. But
No, that
anyway,
makes sense.
And last but not least, two birthdays. Happy 20th birthday, Xbox.
that's today.
Mhm.
And today, and running, well, I think it's today, or happy 17th birthday, World of Warcraft. Today was the
Oh,
anniversary.
no shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
It's a long time.
Next year, wow, you'll be able to smoke and vote.
Yeah.
Get
You got
excited.
it. I mean,
Xbox can almost drink.
aside from all the criticism, obviously, and Xbox reaching 20 is awesome, but how many systems are talking about? World of Warcraft, like you get all the every year. I feel like 2, 3 new WoW killers come out, and
And
Mhm.
but
they aren't really WoW killers.
where are they though? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, like New
Well,
World like was there, and then like it's seen its population drop like dramatically like over
well,
time.
I also feel like unfair to these games. They don't apply that name like WoW killer. I feel like it's journalists and it's like the
True,
gaming community being like, people just love tragedy and they just want to see like Tom Brady. Everybody wants to see Tom Brady lose, because he wins so much. So it's like people want to see World of Warcraft lose. And I'm sure there were a lot of people that were cheering that lawsuit on just because it was like, Blizzard losing, which in a way kind
yeah,
of
and
makes
this
World of Warcraft lose. And so I think some games just unfairly get, called, labeled. That's the word I was looking for, labeled a WoW killer. When the actuality,
Yeah.
they could never be a WoW killer.
No.
I don't think there's ever going to be a WoW killer game except for World of Warcraft 2, if
if
they
they ever,
upgraded the
yeah,
graphics and stuff.
I
Which
I
I
just
feel like. Go
I
ahead.
think
Sorry.
I think there's just going to be it. See, when people started saying like the Call of Duty killer or the WoW killer, because it's been around that long now, I think the actual manifestation was that it's not something else. It's just the other viable option. Um, like look at MOBAs. You've got Dota, you've got League, and then I think
Smite's a MOBA, isn't it?
is Smite third at this point, because I know Heroes of the Storm is done now.
It might be third.
But
But I know a lot of people play Smite. They love that
exactly.
game. But that's on that list. So
and then there's just like if you look at the MMO space, like, and I am not an expert in this, but I think what the three are probably World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, and I guess Elder Scrolls Online.
ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, there are other ones.
Yeah, I guess
like,
Guild War. I was going to say Guild Wars too.
like
but I don't even think
EverQuest and Guild Wars are still out there, but I think like in terms of player base, I feel like. And then there's also that, is Star Wars: The Old Republic still going, or did they finally shut that completely down?
No, I think that's still going.
Yeah, and with shooters, it's like they haven't found the viable option to really compete with Call of Duty. And I don't know if at this point.
Well, so in comparing Call of Duty to Battlefield, I feel the reason that a Call of Duty game is way more stable than a Battlefield game is because in Call of Duty, if I fire a rocket at a building, that fucking building ain't doing shit. If I fucking throw a grenade at a building in Battlefield, more than likely half the wall is going to be missing. And if I do it enough, that building's coming down. Like there are levels in Battlefield 4.
They had Levolution, right?
Yes, Levolution. There is
which is a great dumb word, let me tell you.
If you take a tank up to this skyscraper and blow out the supports, the entire thing falls. And so instead of it being King of the Mountain, where whoever can get to the top of the building the fastest holds that point, now it becomes a ground level point of conflict where you can have tanks coming in, you can have people parachuting in instead of trying to just fly up to get to you. And then there's also one where it takes place on an island in a storm, in a hurricane, and a boat gets beached and just goes right through the buildings. Like it's insane. And 2042, I played the beta, and it was really cool. A lot of, like, I sent pictures to Jason in the group. Like, there's a tornado that came through the map that I was on, and you could see all the blue dots of the people just flying around the tornado in their parachutes. And I'm like, you're not going to get that on Call of Duty. So I feel like that's the problem with DICE, is DICE hasn't locked down like their Levolution and like it's almost like if you think about Skyrim, I always had to save like I'd create a new save like every 20 saves, because there would be something that could bug something, because the save is basically tracking everything you pick up and every little thing you put somewhere, and you could get a bug and it'll just ruin something that you can't progress in the game. And so you have to go back to a save, and you're like, okay, well, instead of having to start over, I can go back 20 saves and I'm good to go. You know, like, where was this save? And so like, that's the problem with the Levolution in Battlefield. It's tracking like all that small stuff, whereas COD is just like, I'm tracking the people running around this map. You know what I mean? So to their credit, they do it well. Call of Duty games are extremely playable. I just feel like they're dealing with less issues than Battlefield is, as far as trying to make it a running game. But anyways.
Yeah. And I feel like we got off track, but whatever.
Yeah.
I probably took it way off track. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's about it for the news. So if we didn't cover anything you liked, guess what?
Dear gamers, it's not always about you.
Bye.
At Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXODmerch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Ray Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. Thank you for listening to Story Route Zero. We hope you have enjoyed your time here as much as we've enjoyed having you. Once again, questions, concerns, complaints, pictures of pets, or favorite recipes can be sent to storyroute0@gmail.com. You can yell at us on Twitter at StoryRoute0. Rate us and review us on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you may have found us, as it helps with discoverability. If you'd like to hit us up individually, you can find Moose Cool at Sven, that's SVHENN on Twitter, PSN, Instagram, and of course Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall writing at obelisk.co. You can also find him on Twitter at GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end, as well as PSN, Instagram, and Twitch. He also has his own website, whereisthepausebutton.com. You can find Michaela Crescione doing all sorts of writing at obelisk.co, as well as on Twitter at RedXMod. My name is Matthew Keel. You can find me everywhere I'd like to be at infinite_rewind. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's PSN, and I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com. Be sure to check us out at all the places. You are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. Thank you for listening, but for now, it's back to the real world for us. So we will see you on the next one.